For a fan base that dealt with days of the doldrums, hope is on the way. The Chicago Bears selecting Caleb Williams with the 1-1 in this year's draft. Could he be the one to put an end to all those QB woes? Joining us now from Detroit, checking in with all the latest, Aditi Kinkhabwala, bringing us information and more here from Detroit. Aditi, great to be with you as always, as someone who roots for this team and has, since a very young age, has seen quarterback time and again come through. This feels like a new era headed to Chicago. What can you tell us about the reaction to that moment there in Detroit?
Well, I'll tell you this. Caleb Williams was pretty darn excited. This has been a foregone conclusion for quite some time now. As you certainly know, the Chicago Bears didn't bring in any other quarterbacks for pre-draft visits. Caleb Williams has openly been talking about what he expects in Chicago. He's already been hanging out with current teammates now. They are now his current teammates. And yet, even despite all of that, when his name was finally called, he got on that stage, he whooped, he let out a yell, and it clearly was official. But look, when we talk about Caleb Williams and the pressure that's on him, I feel almost terrible saying this to you, Joe. You know this better than anyone. Since 2000, the Chicago Bears have had 29 different starters. So this is a young man that steps into a city that has basically pinned all its hopes on this idea that Caleb Williams will finally be its savior, will finally be the first franchise quarterback that the Bears have had in 70-some years. I mean, even Jim McMahon said that Chicago is where quarterbacks go to die. But here's where Caleb Williams has maybe a cheat code, and that's Odunze. When I talked earlier about Caleb Williams already starting to throw with Keenan Allen and DJ Moore, well, Odunze was a part of that too, and I actually asked Odunze just a few minutes ago, did you guys know something? And he said, maybe Caleb did, but I certainly didn't. Rome is definitely the type of player, though, who is willing to shoulder some of those expectations. We already talked about who are some of his favorite quarterback wide receiver duos. He said Matthew Stafford and Megatron. And when I teasingly said to him, do you think the two of you could possibly match that? He said, that's the plan.
Well, Rome was not built in a day, nor was this team. Ryan Poles constructing it now in his image, Aditi, and it's been great to watch it happen from the fan side, but now the production must follow. The two that came to Detroit together will leave on a plane and head to Hallis Hall in lockstep as well. Talk to me about those next two quarterbacks that came off the board, because situationally, it appears to be exactly what those two individuals need as well.
Joe, you're calling it exactly right. Now, Jaden Daniels, excuse me, please forgive me for the hour. Jaden Daniels did actually admit to me right on this in front of this same screen that he actually wasn't sure that Washington was going to call his name. He projected confidence. All the chatter around was that Washington had indeed settled on Daniels. He wasn't sure until he actually heard his name, but he truly is the right fit for this franchise as it is trying to turn the page on who it has been. Now, Jaden Daniels, we all know what he can do on the field. We know how dynamic his legs are and how he's an even better passer. It's his work ethic, it's his focus, it's how relatable he will be to his teammates, and the way that he leads. That's what this club needs. Now, as for Drake Maye, there was also a lot of chatter that New England could potentially trade out of that number 3 spot. But New England loved Drake Maye from the time that he came on his visit. They gave him a quiz, a quarterback quiz. He got one question wrong, and it destroyed him and ate him up. It bothered him. And as I was told by someone in New England, that competitiveness just compelled the Patriots to think, this is our type of guy. Now, he steps into a situation where there's already a veteran quarterback in Jacoby Brissett, someone who has a lot of familiarity with offensive coordinator Alex Van Pelt, someone that's repeatedly been called a Hall of Fame teammate, and I've heard multiple people say that he's the best teammate they've ever had. I actually asked Drake May. If this turns into a Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes type situation where you sit for a little bit behind Jacoby Brissett, how would you feel about that? He said, it sure sounds like Jacoby Brissett is one of the first people that I can learn from, one of the best people I can learn from. He said, I'm just excited to get there and start competing.
Well, we will see how they look as competitors. One of the potential suitors that maybe was trying to move up to number 3, some reports that the New York Giants were in the conversation, trying to shore up their quarterback situation. Still don't have a concrete answer as to what that will look like long term, but they do have a fantastic weapon in Malik Neighbors. Can you talk us through the process there, how New York came to rest selecting at their pick?
Malik Neighbors is an extremely confident man, one that believes that he can help any quarterback and that he can be a game breaker. We talked about that. There's a statement that the Giants are making, despite all of the chatter that their fans wanted another quarterback, that they think Neighbors can actually really help elevate what this offense is trying to do. And look, let's be pragmatic about this. There are a lot of pieces around quarterback Daniel Jones that are missing. Bringing in a new quarterback doesn't necessarily create all of those pieces or make any better of a situation for another hypothetical quarterback. So the Giants here are trying to build a better support system. They're giving Daniel Jones another chance, and if not, then a young quarterback can slide into an offense that's a little bit more completely built.
Aditi, we appreciate all the hard work on night 1 from the draft. All the latest from our Aditi Kinkhabwala. We got plenty more coming here on CBS Sports HQ as we take a look at some of Malik Neighbors' numbers on the way out the door. Production, as wide receiver U adds another to their list. Neighbors to NY.